This week is a real monumental one, you guys. So I really need you guys to kind of like stay focused and stay adamant on the things that you're wanting to manifest, but also be aware with how you present yourself in this kind of energetic impression. I have two decks here. I have the Fountain Tarot as well as the Black Noir Tarot. So I'm going to be utilizing both to just add some clarity as to the energies that are happening this week. We're going to go ahead and look and see what's going on for the collective this week. This week is a week of a lot of redirection. I feel like for a lot of persons, they may have taken a wrong turn or a wrong path. I definitely feel like the universe is putting together a contingency plan to like get everybody back aligned with what it is that they're striving for. Knight of Coins. This is all about taking the initiative and going full force on the things that you're trying to actualize and bring about into this physical plane. Knight of Coins just gives me kind of like go-getter, starter energy when it comes to like doing the building work. Coins is all about physicality. Think of Knights of Coins as like the builder. Emperor card. I feel like a lot of people are taking the initiative and taking the stances that are needed for them to proactively go after what it is they're wanting to go after. Emperor energy is all about saying less and doing more. Your Emperor energy is the embodiment of all four kings. King of Swords, King of Wands, King of Coins, and King of Cups. Think of the totality of all of those archetypes and people in the collective taking on those traits to embody them for this week. What else is going on? There's a major arcana right off the bat. I feel like you guys have been in a stasis of rest. And when I say rest, it just means mental anguish. I feel like for a lot of persons, they've been in a state of mental anguish. A lot of times people get into those spaces when they don't take the initiative actions to get them out of that frame of work. Sun card, confirmation, literally. I feel like a lot of you guys are feeling this kind of exhaustion because you're not taking the initiative steps to do what needs to be done to get the things that you're wanting to get. That's one of the major things when it comes to spirit and the universe. Spirit and the universe is kind of like a GPS. I can tell by my Google Maps that I want to go to Burger King or McDonald's, and it's going to give me the address. It's going to take my initiative to go to that address to get what it is that I want. So spirit and the universe is the same way. So that Knight of Coins kind of gives me the feeling of persons being given the opportunity and just taking the initiative, taking the first steps on like doing what needs to be done. Justice card. A lot of major arcana in this week's thread. You can't say thread. Yeah. This week's spread or thread, whatever you want to call it. Justice is a Libra card, so it's all about balance. It's just like balancing out the things that you're wanting to bring about, but also balancing it with the actions taken so you get to that point and place of actuality. All right, this week is all about doing a lot of work and action, like putting your money where your mouth is and taking the initiatives needed so you can kind of like do what needs to be done. You know, getting out of this poverty mindset. You know, I feel like a lot of persons. I mean, the way the planet is working right now, people are really trying to make $1 out of 50 cents. But I think for some persons, it's just taking in the past experiences that one has been in that are similar and kind of utilizing those lessons to like direct you moving forward. You know, these energies may be very similar to what you may have experienced in the past when it comes to maybe being in times of poverty, but Spirit is kind of like trying to teach you how to walk in faith, honestly. Walking in faith and just being reciprocal. Walking in faith and putting out what you want to get back. You know, you can talk a beautiful game, talk a beautiful plan, but if there's no actions being applied to the plan, you know, all you're doing is just in the realms of imagination and affirmation. You want to turn those affirmations and imaginations into tangible, like actualizations of things that you're wanting to experience in this plane. But that just depends on the individual and like the willpower. But like the six of coins kind of gives me some insight as to kind of like the main thing is reciprocity, like in terms of the ambitions that you're wanting to actualize and the actions that you're taking to do so. So I feel like people, you know, you could say you want to lose weight, but are you going to the gym to do so? You can know all the proven facts, all the proven mechanics on losing the weight, but are you taking those mechanics and utilizing them and putting them to work so that you can see the actualization of them? You know? Yeah, I feel like for some of you guys too, like there's needs to be some heavy rest. So it could be like for some of my people in the collective, like you've been proactively been looking, doing, but for you, it's mostly kind of for you guys in that section of the collective, it's just you really allow yourself to make things come to you. This lifetime is about you manifesting and not someone's implementing. For some of you guys, take it where it fits. But the Chariot card just tells me that there's going to be a very quick momentum when it comes to the direction that you're trying to kind of head towards. So please take the time to kind of relax. You know, take the time to recharge your energy so that when the opportunities do arise for you to kind of go towards what it is that you're trying to go towards, you actually have the energy to do so. Yeah. And you don't end up walking back into a trap. You know, a lot of you guys just need to be really kind of mindful as to the things and the people that you're interacting with, quite honestly, because they could end up putting you in a situation where you're in a trap, looking around you and all the people that are around you are stabbing you in the back. So you really need to kind of be proactive with the things that you're wanting to manifest in this time frame, honestly. Because for some people, this week is all about implementation, and for others, it's all about manifestation, meaning allowing these things to come to you depending on your work in this lifetime. For some people, it's kind of taking the initiative, and for some, it's kind of taking the back end and just kind of like allow these things to come towards you. So depending on where Saturn and Aries is aspected in your chart, it gives you a more kind of definitive scope as to where these energies are going to be manifesting in your life, aka render. All right, sometimes y'all be literally sabotaging yourselves, but I digress. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this other deck and see what else could be in this energy that's coming up. You guys, I also have a TikTok and I also have a Twitch. So if you guys want to go check me out on there, I post every day on TikTok and I do a lot of like live streams over there too. So if you guys ever want to like hop in, get an energy read real quick, you know, catch me while I'm there. Keep your notifications, all right? I'm going to use this deck to kind of clarify the energies because I'm seeing a lot of kind of, for some persons, being overly proactive where you end up walking into literally a trap. Yeah, I feel like for some of you guys, the opportunity has definitely presented itself that could, you know, it's a seed. It's a seed of, I think some of you guys want to get your groove back. So I think this opportunity that's come about is allowing you to do so in some facet, but a lot of you guys are walking away from some circumstances and people, taking the proactive step to kind of like move on and grow up. Some of you guys are growing up. Some of you guys are literally growing up, bro. Like it's the adult era for some of you guys. So it's really kind of being mindful on the decisions and the actions that you're taking towards your life, literally. All right, 4 coins. 4 coins just tells me a reestablishment of your foundations. The things that you thought are no longer serving the person that you're becoming. So it's allowing those old foundations to kind of like fall off the way in so that you can start building some new kind of value systems when it comes to money and when it comes to reciprocation for that value that you have for yourself. Okay, High Priestess energy just tells me that you've been in some deep introspection when it comes to trying to figure out what your energetic expression is in this plane. The High Priestess kind of gives me the insight of you taking more of a spiritual route, reading tarot, watching tarot, like being more in tune with the aspects of existence that are like outside of your perception. And then a Page of Coins is just giving me, it's very similar to Ace of Pentacles where it's seedling energy. It's an idea, a business idea, or a idea to maybe like start applying to places, or a new how do you say, like a new method on applying to places. You know, you may have been applying to one place and then, you know, you get this kind of insightful download to like try another website or something. Like pages are very seedling types of energy, and depending on how you fertilize and farm that seed is how your crop is going to turn out. So the universe can present you with as many opportunities as possible. It just depends on whether you're going to nurture them, grow them, till them, all that stuff, you know? So I think this week is all about kind of stepping away from old frames of thinking and just embracing this like new era. 10 of coins, you know, that's prosperity fulfilled, legacy fulfilled. 9 of wands, keep your stance. You may have a lot of persons, you know, having opinions about the actions and directions that you're choosing to take in this new era. You need to be informed on who and what you are so that you can differentiate between projections and what's really you, okay? Now more than ever, you guys, you know, we're in a time where people are really seeking value. They're seeking sustenance. You get me? And depending on the person, it's like, how do you define your value? Do you define it by making others feel bad? Do you define it by making others feel good? There's all these types of people in the world, you guys, and we're in a time where people are kind of losing their jobs, losing their houses, you know, things that bring about value for persons, labels, titles, items. So when persons don't have those cues of validation, they're going to start seeking them elsewhere, and maybe very low vibrational expressions of it, you know. I don't like that I can't lose weight, so I'm going to start making fun of persons who are losing weight or are obese. You know, it's kind of, if you can't beat them, join them kind of energy, and that could be on all facets of good and bad. So just really being aware of how you come and present in the world for this week. So I'm going to draw 2 more cards, and then I'm going to wrap it up because it's just a quick reading. I'm going to do another reading later on today. I gotta just hop on with my collective and kiki with y'all. Some of you guys are getting a lot of confirmations today. So whether it be emails that you've been applying to places, whether it be kind of waiting for somebody who's left you on red, kind of getting an idea as to what that situation is. I feel like for a lot of persons, this is going to be a week of clarity for a lot of persons. And for persons who are on the other side of that, meaning you are the person who needs to reach out, or you're the person who's been kind of like contemplating whether or not you should, yeah, you found your wall. Now you need to break it by taking the initiative and communicating who you need to communicate with. Some of you guys are prideful. 6 of wands. You're at the precipice of your victory. It just depends on whether or not you're going to take the initial steps to cross the finish line, quite honestly. Yeah. There's a lot of things for the collective to celebrate, but first, before celebration, there needs to be the celebratory action, and that's the action that you're taking towards your life. So whether or not you're doing the work to do so, that's on you. I just act as a mouthpiece for the collective and for source. Whether or not you choose to utilize these insights for the betterment, celebration again. So I feel like a lot of you guys are going to, but it's going to take some introspection. So hermit energy, a lot of internalized, not even internalized, but taking your internalized processing and data and streamlining them outwardly so you can find an interface that works best with what it is that you've come up with. You know, when it comes to your ideologies, when it comes to your value systems, when it comes to old aspects of yourself that no longer are serving the new aspects of yourself. Hermit energy brings about those inclinations and those perspectives, you know. The Hermit card is ruled by Virgo. And how many Virgos do you know are hypercritical and super, you know, super attention to detail? You know, Virgo energy can be utilized for this when it comes to your own life and your own kind of place in your life, and seeing what role you played in each aspect and seeing what skills and habits need to be adhered to so that you can get out of certain loops or get out of certain circumstances that you put yourselves in or are put into. But needless to say, this week is all about celebration for those who take the initiative and the steps needed for your life to be how you're wanting it to be. The Sun card at the bottom. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. You know, take this Leo energy of vibrance and confidence and camaraderie and really put that towards your life and the ambitions that you're trying to actualize in it, so that when these opportunities do arise, you don't get into a imposter syndrome where you mistake an opportunity for a finesse and end up losing out on your next era. But needless to say, Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you comment and subscribe down below. And take care. Peace.